Well, welcome all. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different to my usual video stuff, and I'm going to start doing a series on my patrol and my camping gear and so on. So this might be of interest to a wider audience as far as four-wheel driving and camping goes. There'll be a lot of stuff on the patrol itself, what I've done to it and so on. Plus I'll be talking about some of the bush gear and everything else that I use, and a bit of experiences, I guess, from 40 plus years of going bush, nearly 50 years actually, and it might hopefully be of value to people who are interested in going bush, long-term users and so on, just to get a bit of a different insight into what people are doing with their vehicles and camping gear and so on. Now, this is a 2008 Common Rail Patrol. It's not a weapon, it's basically a functional bush tool like a good axe or a chainsaw. It doesn't do wheelies, donuts and convert diesel into black smoke. It just does what it does, and as far as I'm concerned, it's been a good reliable vehicle over these last 13 plus years. Modifications that I've done to it have been fairly minimal in most respects, but it's interesting what I've done, I think, from some people's perspective. Now, the bush use that we put this to with friends of ours and so on, both general camping and whatnot, plus going out on what we call our cruises into the high country, where we look for challenging stuff, but not absolutely vehicle breaking conditions and so forth. The vehicles that we go out with are our daily drivers, so we want to keep them in reasonable condition. We don't have a second car to go blatting about and polishing every day, so we like to keep our vehicles in fairly good condition. But that doesn't mean that we don't try difficult tracks. Difficult varies depending on one's, I suppose, thought patterns and so on. But we do actually go out and do something that's often fairly gnarly. And as you can see, it doesn't have huge tyres, huge lift and so forth. This one actually doesn't even have diff locks and whatnot. It's just basically got the standard limited slip diff and open diff at the front, but it's surprising where you can go with the right suspension tyres and a bit of driving technique too to boot. So I'll go through the vehicle a little bit in detail closer up, but what I plan to do is actually go through each specific area of interest, such as the snorkels that I've got, what I've done to the engine, issues that I've had with the engine, the camping gear I use, the chainsaws, tents and so forth. I'll do those in a series of shorter videos so that it doesn't get too boring and try to cluster too much into one video. So I'm going to go into more detail on specifics and so on to give you my views on what I've done and why I've chosen specific products over others, and how they've performed over the years. Some are been in use for a long time, and others are fairly recent, so the views that I give will be dependent on the actual time frame that I've owned some of that gear. So not all of it's going to be as positive, well, not positive, but as informative perhaps in long-term durability and functionality as some of the other aspects. So on that note, I'll call it cheers.